Hi, I'm Chris from TravelTime, and today I'm going to show you around the second of our new developer playgrounds. Like the isochrones playground that we've looked at before, this new TravelTime matrix playground provides a really easy way to learn how the TravelTime API works. This particular playground provides access to the time filter endpoint of the TravelTime API, and this is typically used for calculating the travel times to thousands of locations incredibly quickly. This data can then be used to filter, rank, and sort results, such as on websites where a visitor searches for things like jobs or properties or hotels. So if we open up our travel time matrix playground, this should look familiar if you've already used our isochrone playground, and it has a very similar structure. Along the top, we have our mandatory request fields. At the bottom, we have our optional advanced fields that we can toggle on and off. On the right-hand side, we have the request body and the response. And these will update in real time as we change any of the parameters that we're using. We can also copy either of these to the clipboard. In the middle, we have a map with some location markers, and I'll explain what's going on with those in a minute. And on the left-hand side, we have a table with some locations and some travel times. So let's get started with using the tool. Now, in order to calculate the travel times to lots of locations, we obviously first need to generate some locations. And that's exactly what this tool does. It randomly generates points to then calculate travel times too. So when we load it up, it opens in central London, and we have this purple marker, which is the starting location from our search, which is the centre of London. We then have 10 randomly distributed locations represented by the orange markers, which are the locations we're going to calculate our travel times to. So you can see where they're close together, they get grouped up. But if we zoom in, we can separate these out. Clicking on any of these locations will tell us the coordinates and the travel time. And if we click on any of the rows in the table, it will take us to the corresponding orange marker, and it also shows the travel time in the table. So let's have a look at the request and see how this corresponds. So in this example, we've got 10 locations that we want to calculate the travel times to, starting from our purple marker. So we have the coordinates of the purple marker. We then have the coordinates of these 10 other locations, the orange markers. Then down the bottom, we have the other details of the request we're making. So we're doing a departure search. So we want to set off from the purple marker at this time and calculate the travel times to get to our 10 orange markers. We're calculating public transport times, and we have a maximum travel time here. So as you can see, a couple of these locations are marked as unreachable, and that is because we've set a maximum 30-minute travel time here. So any of these that are outside of 30 minutes are returned as unreachable. So we've started in London, but let's go to somewhere else. Let's go to Paris. So in this location field, we can type in an address to use as our purple marker. And this will use a different endpoint of the TravelTime API, our geocoder, to turn this address into coordinates to then use in the request to the time filter endpoint. So we get some suggested options here. Let's go with the top one. As you can see, our purple marker is now in the middle of Paris, and the tool has generated another 10 random locations around this point. The request and the response have updated in real time to represent the new request we're sending with these new locations. We can also change the number of locations we want to calculate the travel times to. So here we have a drop-down. When you're using the API directly, you can include any number of locations up to 2,000 per search. But here we just have some common options. So if I select 1,000 now, we're still using the same purple marker as our search location, but we now have 1,000 randomly generated locations on the map. Again, these are grouped up where they're close together. But if we zoom in, we start finding these individual locations with their travel times. The request has also updated. So now we have a much, much longer body because we have 1,000 locations listed in here. And similarly, our response is now much longer as well because we have a travel time for all of the different 1,000 locations that we included. Now let's play around with some of the other parameters. So we've just been doing public transport times, but we can choose a different mode of transport. So say we wanted to calculate driving times. We select driving, and then we just click search to send a new request with driving as the new parameter. We get a new set of 1,000 randomly generated locations, and now we have the driving times from this same purple marker to all 1,000 of those locations. And here we can see how performant the TravelTime API is. So let's go up to 2,000 locations. Here it's taking 400 milliseconds to calculate the travel times to all 2,000 of these locations. We can also increase this maximum travel time value. So here we're getting some unreachable locations because they're outside of that 30-minute drive. Say, let's increase this to 50 minutes. Click search. We're now going to calculate the travel times to any of those locations that are within a 50-minute drive. In the playground, we've limited the maximum value here to 1 hour, but when using the API directly, you can go up to a 4-hour maximum travel time. So that's the mandatory parameters. Let's have a look at some of the advanced parameters. So I'm going to go back down to just a handful of locations, and we'll open the advanced settings. Now, we walked through some of these in the isochrones tutorial, so I won't go through all of these again, but they all have little tooltips with an explanation of what they are and a link to the documentation. Most of these are most relevant for public transport journeys. So I'm going to go to public transport. A couple of these that I wanted to highlight. The first being this new feature we've added quite recently to the API, which is this max changes. So this is for public transport journeys, and it allows you to set a maximum number of changes, i.e. from one bit of public transport to another, that are allowed as part of the route. So in general, the travel time tools always optimize for the shortest travel time, i.e. the fastest journey. But sometimes this might not be completely appropriate. For example, looking at commutes of employees, maybe a journey with lots of changes that happens to be the fastest might not be the best option. You might prefer a slightly longer journey with fewer changes. So what we can do is we can say we do want to limit the number of changes, say to 2 changes, and then we can click search. And if we have a look at the request now, Now that we've toggled on the advanced settings, we have all of these new parameters added into the request body. And here you can see we now have this max changes to parameter. If I wanted to set this to 1, click 1, you can see it's changed in the request. Click search. The other parameter in the advanced settings that it's worth touching on is the range feature. So what range does is it changes an arrival or a departure time into an arrival or departure window. So if I set this as true, I can then set the width of this window. So here I've got a departure time of 9 a.m. Let's do an arrival. So we're arriving at 9 a.m. But with a 1 hour range, this will actually say, find any journeys that arrive between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. So rather than just arriving at 9, it's a 1 hour range window. As part of this, we can get the tool to look for multiple results that arrive within this window. So I can go up to 5 here. So let's say I want 5 as my maximum results and click search. If we now look at our response body, for each of these 5 orange locations, we now have 5 results. Some of these will be the same, but some of them will be different. And these represent the different public transport journeys that are possible that arrive within that 1 hour range window that we've set. What we do in the table on the left-hand side is just pick the shortest of these options to display only one for each location in the table. So that is the TravelTime Matrix Playground. If you'd like to play around with it yourself, it can be accessed from the URL playgrounds.traveltime.com. And you can also download a free API key if you'd like to start playing around with the API and building your own applications. Thanks very much for watching.